I apologize for the little mishap, but this guy should say -3 for your min. What's the first thing, hopefully, that you did?
Plot out the points.
Yeah, plot the points, right? Plot your points. So, we got all my zeros, definitely. I got -3. I'm just going to try that again real quick.
It's going through its rebellious phase.
That's 2. Wait, we can hack this. Haha, I win. We got a point there, we got a point there, and we got a point there. Where else do I have points?
At the maxes and mins.
The maxes and mins. So I've got -1.5 and 2. I've got 2.5 and 1. Why don't you like me today, machine? There is no absolute minimum. What does that tell you? It's going to go down forever. There's going to be at least one arrow, right, that's going to be heading down. That tells you that. And then the +3 should not have made sense here because I'm going to have to dip down to dip back up. So 0.5, -3. You cool there? So we've got some kind of nice little... It's an M for math. Okay? So, tells you that it goes down, bro. Okay, so what is my range? What does range mean?
Y. How far?
Bottom to top, exactly. Your Y value, bottom to top. So what's my lowest possible Y value?
Negative infinity.
-infinity. What kind of bracket does it get? We'll throw back to first order.
A soft, squishy one.
A soft one, because it's not included, so you have to break it to it softly, right? And what is the top Y value I can have?
2. And it gets the hard bracket.
And it is a hard stop there. It is included. Yep. Okay. Do you remember how to do increasing and decreasing?
Oh, yeah.
That is the question. Is it X or Y?
It's
These are your X values. Do you remember the trick I showed you for increasing and decreasing? You got to draw my favorite thing. Yeah, number line. I love a good number line. So we're just looking at the peaks and valley numbers. Right? We're grabbing these numbers and putting them in order. So if I go lowest to highest, what's my first one? Negative infinity. Okay, what's next?
3.
Literally just putting these 3 numbers in order from smallest to largest. Thank you for saving us. -1.5. What do you need, Kagan?
Calculator. I thought you guys had the white ones and solid. Which one, guys? This one's third technique.
What's next? 0.5, and then 2.5 to infinity. So what does this graph do? Does this graph start off by increasing or decreasing? It starts off by increasing. So this is increasing, which means the next section has to be decreasing, increasing, decreasing. Remember doing that? So my increasing interval is from -infinity to -1.5, and then from 1.5 to 2.5. Those are my increasing intervals. And these are always soft brackets because the tops and the bottoms, you're not increasing or decreasing at those points. So I'm increasing from negative infinity to negative 1.5, u 0.5 to 2.5. And then the decreasing is from negative 1.5 to 0.5 and 2.5 to infinity. Okay. The other way we went about doing it is we talked about we're starting off by increasing at negative infinity until negative 1.5, and then when we stop increasing, we start decreasing until here, and then we hop kind of back and forth until we hit infinity. Yep, decreasing 2.5 to infinity. No decreasing here. Alright, so then the last three here are what's new. How do I figure out my point of inflection? What happened in that video? Yeah, the shortcut for it is to just find the average. I can't average a number in infinity, right? I have no idea, because that would just be infinity. Like, infinity plus a number divided by 2 is infinity. That doesn't help me. So I can only find the middle of this guy and this guy. I'm going to have 2 points of inflection there, right? And the shortcut, the little short-change one of it, there's a more specific way to find it as you make it to pre-calc and calculus you'll talk about. Okay, is to average these numbers together. So negative 1.5 plus 0.5
Divided by 2.
divided by 2, exactly. What's that give me?
2.
Negative 1.
Negative 1. It gives you negative 1 over 2.
Oh, the whole thing. Oh, it gives you 1 over 2.
It gives you negative 0.5.
Yeah, negative 1/2 or negative 0.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then how about this guy? This guy is 0.5 plus 2.5 divided by
1.5.
2. Yeah, this guy is 1.5. Okay. How are you supposed to write points of inflection?
You do use the number when you put 1 next to it? No?
You just always put 1 next to it?
No, it's...
Personally, I marked where the x's were on the map on the actual line of the graph, and then I guesstimated where it was.
It's just a guesstimation situation. Okay? Because it says points, you should probably give me a coordinate. Coordinates are helpful. Okay? So if I know that I have negative 0.5 and I have 1.5, from your graph, when you have a calculator and I give you an actual equation, you should be able to plug in the x value and get the y value, right?
Mm-hmm.
But here I didn't give you the equation, so the best you can do is guesstimate it, okay? So at negative 0.5, what about 1 is fine, somewhere around the 1 area, and then at 1.5, we're up here, I don't know, 0.5, something like that, okay? When you actually have an equation, you're just going to plug the x value in and tell me what the y value is. Okay, you just don't have that luxury right now. So what about, let's mark these guys on our picture. We'll try to make them big like the other guys, but make them a different color. How about that? Ooh, so many choices. So we got yeah and yeah. So what's this concave up and concave down shenaniganry?
It's the concave is what direction the lines are pointing away from the vertex.
Yeah, that's a nice way to think of it. So from here to here, which way am I being concave?
Down.
Yeah, right, because my shape is facing down. And that's the same thing from here to here. That part of it is concave down, right? Where if I look at this piece is what?
Concave up.
Concave up. Okay? So you're just finding the places where they switch on you. So I'm concave down all the way over. This again is just like increasing and decreasing where we use x values. So from negative infinity, where do I stop being concave down?
-1/2.
At that negative 0.5. Good. And then once I stop being concave down, what am I now?
Concave up.
I'm concave down from negative 0.5 until where?
3/2.
All the way.
The 3/2 or the 1.5. I don't care if you put decimals or fractions here. And then I pick up again and I start being concave down until the end of it, until I go all the way to infinity. How do you feel about that? You gotta get this quiet. It makes me nervous that you don't know what's going on.
Oh, I never know what's going on.
I don't think that's true at all. Okay. Am I cool to pause it here? You just want to go fresh over a full problem together kind of thing? Yeah? Fresh? Okay.